The hypercar sat in a Florida salvage yard, its nose an unrecognizable nest of splintered carbon fiber and dangling wiring harnesses. This was no ordinary fender bender. This was a Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport, one of only 60 examples on planet Earth, priced new at nearly $4 million. To the insurance company, it was a financial catastrophe. A $1.7 million repair bill that made fixing it a mathematical absurdity. To Matt Armstrong, a British YouTuber known for resuscitating wrecked supercars, it was an opportunity. But when Armstrong flew to the United States, bought the corpse of this French engineering marvel, and shipped it to his workshop in Nottingham, he didn't just buy a project. He walked into a silent war. On one side stands a YouTuber with a wrench and an audience of millions. On the other stands Bugatti itself, backed by the weight of safety regulations, proprietary software, and a century of exclusivity. The battle is not merely about one wrecked car. It is about the very definition of ownership in the age of computerized controlled machinery. This is the story of the $6 million rebuild that turned the industry against Matt Armstrong. To understand the controversy, one must first understand the artifact. The Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport is not a car so much as a declaration of physics-defying wealth. Designed to prioritize cornering agility over the standard Chiron's top-speed heroics, it packs an 8.0-liter quad-turbocharged W16 engine that produces 1,500 horsepower. Each unit was hand-assembled in Molsheim, France, with a price tag starting at $3.6 million before the bespoke customization that every buyer inevitably orders. The specific vehicle in question, chassis number 1 of the later production run, belonged to a prominent Florida collector. In early 2024, during a routine drive on a Miami highway, traffic came to a sudden halt. The driver behind the Bugatti did not. The resulting rear-end collision was low speed by hypercar standards, but devastating in practice. Because the Chiron's monocoque is built from carbon fiber, an impact that would merely dent a steel car creates invisible microfractures in the composite structure. The insurance adjuster's report was final. The front frame rails had buckled. The rear diffuser was shattered. The engine cradle was stressed. The official repair estimate from Bugatti's North American service partner exceeded $1.7 million. The insurer declared a total loss, and the car was issued a salvage title. It was sent to Copart, the online salvage auction giant, where it was listed with the grim descriptor, front-end damage. Runs and drives? No. Matt Armstrong had built his channel on a specific formula: buy the most catastrophically damaged performance cars from Copart, rebuild them on camera, and drive them. He had resurrected a flooded Lamborghini Huracan, a crashed Audi R8, and a burnt Ferrari 488. Each time, he succeeded. But a Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport is a different order of magnitude. Unlike a Ferrari, which has a robust aftermarket and independent mechanic network, Bugatti operates a fortress mentality. The company does not sell spare parts to the public. It does not license its diagnostic software to independent shops. If your Chiron breaks a headlight, you cannot order one from a catalog. You must ship the car to an authorized dealer, who will then fly a technician from France to plug in a proprietary computer. This is by design. Bugatti's business model relies on controlling the entire life cycle of its vehicles to preserve safety, brand mystique, and residual values. When Armstrong won the Copart auction for roughly $800,000, the automotive internet erupted. Enthusiasts cheered the audacity. Industry insiders were aghast, because Armstrong immediately announced he would not be sending the car to Molsheim. Instead, he would rebuild it in his rented unit in England, using a combination of 3D scanning aftermarket fabrication and the occasional salvaged donor part from a wrecked Audi, which shares some switchgear with the Chiron due to its Volkswagen Group lineage. This was not restoration. This was rebellion. The reaction from the upper echelons of the automotive world was swift and chilling. Speaking anonymously to several automotive trade publications, executives from 3 different luxury brands, none of them Bugatti, expressed horror. The core concern was liability. A YouTuber cannot crash test a rebuilt carbon fiber chassis. There is no non-destructive way for Armstrong to verify that the monocoque's epoxy bonds will hold in a 200 miles per hour crash. If Armstrong rebuilds the car, sells it, and the new owner dies because a repair failed, who is liable? The manufacturer's reputation is damaged, even if they had nothing to do with the fix. More pointedly, Maître Rimac, the CEO of Bugatti Rimac, addressed the controversy directly in a public statement in late 2025. He did not attack Armstrong personally. Instead, he articulated the manufacturer's creed with precision. He explained that the Chiron's airbag sensors are calibrated to the specific resonance frequency of the factory-fresh carbon tub. Change the tub's stiffness by even a few percent through an amateur repair, and the airbags might deploy too early, too late, or not at all. He revealed that many of the Chiron's electronic control units are married to the VIN at the factory. You cannot simply swap a used part from another Chiron because the software will reject it. Rimac's message was clear. We don't refuse to repair the car. We refuse to certify a repair we didn't control. In Bugatti's eyes, Armstrong wasn't rebuilding a Bugatti. He was constructing a Frankenstein monster that looks like a Bugatti, but lacks the safety certification that makes a Bugatti a Bugatti. This is where the story transcends automotive gossip and enters the realm of legal philosophy. Armstrong's defense is simple and, to many, unassailable. He owns the car. He holds the title. He paid his taxes. In a free society, a person should be allowed to repair their own property with their own hands, regardless of what the original manufacturer thinks. This is the core tenet of the right to repair movement, which has fought for years against farm equipment giant John Deere, Apple's proprietary screws, and Tesla's closed software ecosystems. By taking on the Chiron, Armstrong has become the unlikely poster child for this movement at its most extreme. If you cannot repair a $4 million car you own, the argument goes, you do not truly own it. You are merely leasing it from the manufacturer's goodwill. Armstrong's video series is a deliberate cinematic rebuttal to Bugatti's control. In one episode, he shows his team using a laser scanner to map the crumpled front frame. In another, they fabricate a custom jig to straighten a chassis rail that Bugatti said was irreplaceable. He is not hiding his methods. He is broadcasting them to 10 million viewers, daring the industry to stop him. And yet, the industry is fighting back indirectly. Armstrong has documented the impossibility of ordering official parts. Bugatti dealers refuse to sell him a coolant hose. A replacement windshield is simply unavailable for purchase. He has had to rely on used parts from a crashed donor car in Dubai, parts that have their own unknown history. This is the quiet sabotage of the closed ecosystem. Bugatti cannot legally seize Armstrong's property, but it can starve it of the components needed to make it safe. Critics within the automotive engineering community have raised a point that even Armstrong's fans struggle to dismiss. Carbon fiber repair is not welding. When a steel frame is bent, a skilled fabricator can cut out the damaged section, weld in new metal, and heat treat it. The result is often stronger than the original. Carbon fiber does not behave this way. It fails in layers. It hides cracks beneath the surface. To properly repair a carbon monocoque, you need an autoclave, ultrasonic scanning, and pre-preg materials that are stored at -20 degrees Celsius. Armstrong's shop does not have an autoclave large enough for a Bugatti tub. He is using a wet layup repair, where carbon fiber cloth is manually saturated with resin and applied to the damaged area. This method is common for cosmetic boat repairs. It is not approved by any hypercar manufacturer for structural safety. This is the uncomfortable reality that the right to repair movement rarely discusses. Some things are genuinely too dangerous for amateurs. The Chiron is a 1,500 horsepower missile. At 200 miles per hour, a single gram of imbalance in a carbon fiber wheel or a single missed microcrack in the chassis means catastrophic disintegration. Armstrong is a talented mechanic, but he is not a materials scientist from the French aerospace industry. As of today, the rebuild is ongoing. Armstrong has successfully reassembled the rear subframe and gotten the W16 engine to turn over. But the front monocoque remains a patchwork of his own fabrication. He has not yet attempted a top-speed run. He has not yet registered the car for road use in the UK, which requires a stringent individual vehicle approval test that may prove impossible to pass without Bugatti's cooperation. The industry remains divided. Independent shops quietly cheer for Armstrong, hoping his success will loosen the stranglehold of manufacturer exclusivity. Insurance companies watch nervously, terrified of the liability implications, and Bugatti waits, knowing that if Armstrong fails, if the car proves undrivable or, worse, dangerous, their position will be vindicated. But if he succeeds, if he rolls that rebuilt Chiron out of his garage and drives it past a Bugatti dealer at 150 miles per hour, he will have done more than fix a car. He will have redefined the contract between the maker and the owner. He will have proven that even the most exclusive, protected, and expensive machines are in the end just metal and carbon fiber, subject to the oldest law of all: whoever pays for it, owns it. The final chapter has not been written. But the wrench is in Matt Armstrong's hand, and the whole world is watching to see if he turns it.